Hi guys, Crafty Kim here. This is my second time doing the Look for Less challenge hosted by Yami, the Latina next door, and this month is also Courtney Creative on the Cheap. I'm excited to show you what I've created today. So I decided to make a Tic Tac Toe game, and the Pier 1 version was $49.95 and my version was just around $16. It was a lot of work and a little bit of a struggle to get through, but hopefully you guys enjoy the video. So I originally got these wood squares. I was going to do the Scrabble tiles that everyone's been doing, but they're really too small. They're only 3 inches by 3 inches. So I was trying to decide what I could do with them, and that's where I came up with the idea to do a tic-tac-toe board. I got them from Amazon and they end up only being like 21 cents a piece, and we're going to use a total of 54 for this project. You're also going to need some paint sticks in the 5-gallon size and also the 1-gallon size. And then I'm using the X and O from the stickers from Dollar Tree, and then an entire box of the tower tumbling blocks, and then also some twine. So to get started, I'm cutting all 36 of the blocks from the tumbling tower game in half, so we have a total of 72. Now using Antique Wax by Waverly, I'm giving each square 1 coat, and we're only doing 45 squares in this, and then I'm going to dry brush some silver lining over that. Again, we're only using 45 squares because the remaining squares we are going to just paint with the silver lining as you see here. So the remaining 9 squares will be with silver lining, and I must not have recorded this, but I used the X and the O as a stencil and took my wet wipe with my antique wax and went over it. And now I'm just peeling off the letter, and that way you only see the silver lining with the letter shape. Then just using a small paintbrush, I'm cleaning up the lines of the letters. So here I'm starting to hot glue the tumbling blocks onto each of the squares, and I put 4 on one square to start, as you can see here, and I try to do them in opposite directions, and you just kind of have to watch how I piece these together. So I'm adding my first square to our base, and I put 2 blocks onto that, and now I'm attaching it to the blocks that were already on the other piece, and then you kind of just go around and do the same for all of the square pieces. And please bear with me, I know this section is a little bit long, but I wanted to show you the full process of putting one whole square together so that you could see it. It's definitely better to visualize than to try to explain it. Now, because these squares are all the same size and we created a cube, they don't line up exact, so I'm using the twine to put around the edges just to help fill it in, but also as a decorative piece. And here I am using the blocks as a guide to see how long I need my frame to be. These are the long paint sticks that I used to build this frame. You need 6 3/4 inch pieces, 4 10 1/4 inch pieces, and 2 10 5/8 inch pieces. So I'm going to take all the frame pieces and give them a coat of this black paint, and then I will go over that with a coat of the silver lining. And then I took all the pieces outside and just gave them a good sanding to make them look a little more rustic. So now I'm measuring where my small pieces need to be to separate the squares, and it ended up being that they are 3 11/16 apart from the ends of the frame. And I thought it was best to do this in sections. I'm just adding a little bit of wood glue and applying the pieces, waiting for it to dry completely before moving on to the next step. So you can see here I'm using my finger to kind of smudge out the glue, and this helps with the amount of glue that comes out from the sides once you push it on to the piece, so I don't have to wipe off as much excess glue. And once all the glue is dry, we're ready to apply some of these really small nails to the corners just for extra security. I put 2 nails in each corner of the frame. And now I'm going to build the bottom of the frame, and I'm using the smaller paint sticks, and I put one in opposite directions of each other just to have a little bit of a design, and marked off how much I needed to cut from the pieces, and you need 9 total to do this. So just using any sandpaper, I'm sanding off the sides that I cut, and now I'm giving each piece a coat of the antique wax with a wet wipe, and then I will dry brush the silver lining over that, and then we will apply these pieces to the frame using the wood glue the same way we did with the frame pieces. And this is what it looks like all finished. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It was definitely a challenge. I've definitely learned in the future how to do things a little differently. It was a little aggravating with some of the parts during this, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me, and hopefully you guys really enjoy this as much as I do. And now I have a fun game to play with my family. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I had a lot of fun doing this Looks for Less challenge, and I hope everyone has a great day. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.